Hello, everybody. This is Brad Tassell. We are live. 1,000 marriage questions. This week we have to start. We are sponsored today by Vampire's Ball Ultimate Halloween Party at the Edinburgh Fringe Online 2020. We can't go to Scotland, so we brought the show to your haunted house. Richard Beck from Broadway Baby says jolly music, witty lyrics provide a tour of the haunted house. It's comedy, it's music with which this show abounds in a way that mixes fear of Frankenstein with life, lunacy, and the routines of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But it's also great for kids. The show is hosted by the Space UK Online, and you can access all the fun at www.ultimatehalloweenparty.com. Now here's a preview of this joyous, spooky musical extravaganza. Ooh, Igor, this is not my match. The Vampire's Ball is a swanky affair.
Master, I brought the shovels.
Good, Igor, good. And did you bring my latte?
Yes, Master. Skim milk, true splendor.
Good, Igor, good. Let's get started. Oh, yes, Igor, yes. Raise the platform. It's time.
Well,
Hiding from ghosts. We're hiding from ghosts. Oh man, I think we're toast. We're hiding from ghosts.
Come inside.
Okay, go watch the show, get the album for your little ghouls, follow, stream, download on Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, or anywhere you shove music into your ears. It will be the greatest Halloween ever, even in August. And by the way, if you want to sponsor this show, just get a hold of me at Brad Tassell. I'm online somewhere. Okay, welcome to the show. I'm going to pull a question very soon. We're going to bring in Donna and, of course, professional comedian Joe Marlotti. I want to start with a question that's is from me, actually, at this time. This question is from me personally. So, Joe and Donna, listen to this question. Are you ready to listen to this question? This question is, and Joe, I think this is more pertinent to you and a lot of entertainers out there that haven't been working. How do you feel and how does your spouse feel about the fact that we haven't been working? I have been feeling like 32 years in comedy, full-time professional comedian, always been a provider. Of course, my wife has a good job too. I've always been somebody who has been productive, and I'm productive now, but it just doesn't pay anything. And for some reason, after 30 years, I feel like I'm not pulling my weight. So do I go out and get a job at the Best Buy? Do I do that? That's not really where I am. And it's not about making money. And I just worry, is there any jealousy? Is there any anger? And Donna, how do marriages deal with that when one person is suddenly not working and they're not sure they have a lot of choices? Okay, so boy, mull that over and we will start the show. 1,000 Questions is an entertaining discussion of marriage. We aren't telling you to do or feel or change anything about your life. Really, just listen and enjoy. And if you need real help, find a professional for your specific problem. We don't know you. How could we speak to your deal? Okay, have fun. Yeah. Hello, Donna Wilburn. Hello, Joe Marlotti. Okay, we're going to start with Donna. Did that make sense what I was talking about?
It did. And it's actually really common when someone retires or has their forced retirement. What? Hi?
Joe, what did you say?
No, I'm sorry. I keep cutting out over here on my side. But go ahead, as you were saying.
Buy an internet. Go ahead, Donna.
Okay, so it's really common when there's a forced retirement. Sometimes there's an injury resulting in not being able to work. So it's not an uncommon problem. It is really common right now due to the pandemic and a lot of people being out of work. But the people who seem to have a harder time with it are people whose identity was wrapped up in their job. So if you put all your identity in that label like I own a company or I'm a real estate agent or I'm a therapist or whatever that is, and focus all of your identity on that. If the job goes, it feels like a whole chunk of your identity went and your self-worth goes. So for a lot of folks, that's the hardest part of it. But if you work on your identity and you're more than your job, you can adapt and be resilient and find other ways to feel worthy.
Well, let me just say this. It says professional comedian on Joe's thing. I think he's wrapped up. I'm pretty wrapped up. Joe, we are wrapped up. Our entire identities are comedians, aren't they?
I literally have wrapped up my entire identity as a professional comedian. That is not a joke. I introduce myself that way to everybody. It's an imprint. It's what I'm known for. And granted, I do other things. I've done lots of voiceover work, lots of on-camera things. I do MC. All of that stuff has gone away, though. So yeah, it's a tough spot that we're in this household, because my wife, who does have a job, I was the breadwinner, I was the majority of the income in the house, and she is now working her butt off, and we're starting to struggle. And she understands that it's really hard for me to find things to do that can replace that. But at the same time, I think she's getting it's just, we're to the point now where it's like, we got to do something, whatever it is. So, whether it's selling drugs again, or whatever it takes. Yeah. And I can imagine first of all, my wife is the most lovely person, most understanding person in the world. And for her to say anything would be out of character for her, but I can sense it, that it's like it's getting to be desperation time. And I just wonder about other people who are in more dire straits than say my wife and I are in. This has got to be tough for people like that. Brad, you've probably talked to a lot of comedians. I've talked to a lot of comedians. It's not good for any of us. No matter how hard we're working, it's not going to go back to the way it was in the foreseeable future.
Well, and I love doing the things I've been doing. I love doing this show. I love doing the virtual comedy show. This thing we've done for the Edinburgh Fest, we're getting huge reviews. There's just no money in it.
No money.
I have based my career on the fact that I was getting paid to produce all these things. And I now have to relearn how to monetize any of this in a world I don't even understand.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of frustrates my wife a little bit, even though she's very supportive. She'll say things like, hey, you could go to medical school. And I'm like, wait, you don't realize I'm a dummy. I look like I know stuff.
You just look like a nerd. You're not really a nerd.
I look like I look so much smarter than I am. And and sure, I've got this and that, but it really, I think she feels like, I don't know. And look, I know, Joe, what a struggle it is. And I'm not as worried about the money as much. We've done well. We've saved. My wife is a professor, but I just, this feeling, and I want everybody to know that it's natural and it's normal for a lot of us going through this right now.
Yeah.
And I'm praying that something will break that helps me figure it out. You know what I mean?
Right. I think that's where I think the biggest thing that's hurting us, the people who have lost the jobs, is when is it going to come back? Will it ever come back? We don't know. We don't know if this is ever going to happen. We don't know if comedy clubs are ever going to be the way they're going to be. We used to do cruise ships. Good Lord. That's not something that was going to happen next week, and even if it does, we're never going to get back to the level it was. So it's one of these deals where it's like, there's the big unknown. It's not just, we're not doing anything. It's just, we don't know what there is to do. And that's
it would be different if it was, you will not be a comedian again. Go find something else.
Yes.
And then you're like, okay. But when you're like, should I find something else? Am I going to be able to do this? Yeah, that would be really difficult. That's limbo. Limbo's hard.
It's also when you get older too, you get a little bit more comfortable in who you are and what you do. And all of a sudden the idea of having to go out and learn something new or do something new is kind of like, oh, really? Can I do that? Am I, like Brad, his wife wants him to be a doctor, and
I have no skills
he
whatsoever.
obviously can't do that.
I
But
can't
I
even.
think that's really sweet that she has that much faith in you. My wife, on the other hand, is like, can you just drive a truck? Just do something,
You can do that. That's
Yeah, and I can. So
my brother was your age when he started driving a truck. He went and got his whole because and I hope he doesn't mind I say this. He tried to drive a truck like 20 years ago and it was still like 15 gears.
yeah,
And he just could not get me either. I could never do that. Well, now trucks are all automatic.
Automatic,
These huge
yeah.
trucks.
Yeah.
And he has the patience of Buddha. So one time he went to New York and he had to back in on Canal Street into a thing. It took him like 2 hours. He blocked traffic as he was just slowly trying. People are screaming, "Hey, you get the hell out!" And he's going, but he just, nope, until I back this sucker in perfect, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But that he could never, like a lot of us figure out. So, and now he's making buku bucks right now doing the things he's doing. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And also I'm not going to go to Home Depot. I'm just not going to, because you're right. We're in limbo.
Well,
And
there's other things that you've got to weigh the consequences of everything as well.
Mhm.
If I do go out and get some sort of a job where I'm doing something where I'm out of the house with other people, there's the chance of getting it, spreading it, bringing it back. If my wife gets sick, then we're really screwed, right? So you got to weigh that. It's like, how much is that worth? And so I don't know. It's a tough situation we're all in right now.
By the way, Donna, it was also suggested to be by one of my old counseling master's professors that I go into sex therapy because there's this huge need for sex therapists right now.
That, I have to tell you, I don't get why that's a separate thing.
From comedy?
Like, I
I'm
guess
not wearing pants.
so
anyway,
I don't get why therapy is a separate thing. Relationship therapy, I think sex therapy has to be part of it.
Yeah, I think it should be. Yeah,
specific sex therapists, though.
Yeah, but it's like I work with couples and relationships and but I won't talk about that subject.
Yeah,
right. Like I thought every couples therapist has to have knowledge and education in intimacy and sexual issues. Like, I think that goes with the topic. How could you not?
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I don't know many sex therapists, but I think it's really based on either an individual's desire issue. Like, it's not a relationship issue. It's an individual's desire, lack of addiction, sex addiction, where it's not has nothing to do with the relationship. And it's that individual. But I don't know. Maybe I'll find one. If you want me to talk to one, I can find one.
I think during this time, I think any type of therapist would be help a big. There's got to be a big demand for all that, because mental illness now is just running rampant inside everybody else's houses. I mean, there's not to put a damper on it, but domestic abuse is up. There's depression. There's all sorts of things that are going on because of what's happening with this. It's that.
I have to tell you, the month of August is usually my slowest month.
Is it?
That I'm working maybe 2 days a week because everybody's on vacation and kids aren't in school. Everybody's having a good time. This past month, I'm working 10 to 12 hour days. I'm lucky that I have to protect my days off, or people would be invading those days. They're coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Although I got to tell you this, if you're going to have an addiction, I think sex is the way to go. I think
not in your partnership.
No. I'm just talking about if you're going to be addicted to something, meth,
drugs,
gambling, just go with the sex.
Some kind of thing that I can just bonk you over the head, just go bonk you, a baseball batter.
Name a better addiction.
Is that the game we're playing today?
Pick your addiction. And don't say God or church or love. I mean, a real addiction.
Did you
What?
What'd you say, Donna?
Working out is an addiction.
It is.
Working out,
it's
exercise.
Not a problem with me.
Travel is that addiction. I want the traveling, vacations. I'll take that one. Anything can be an addiction.
Okay, you tell me where you find me a 12-step traveling addiction group. There's that. No,
Right? So who would fight that?
it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Okay.
It doesn't
Okay.
exist.
Well,
That's
here.
not an
Okay. Well,
addiction.
let's stop the sadness. I've got the bucket. Let's reach in.
Hey, Brad, can I ask you a question? Donna, you too. This is called 1,000 Marriage Questions. Are you going to keep doing this show until you hit 1,000 questions? Because that seems like a lot.
Okay. Let me just say that it's not a lot of questions. Really, if you think about it, people have done 1,000 shows. Like Ellen,
You get what, 3 or 4 a show?
we get 3 or 4 in a show. So, and as people bring them in, we have the ones I haven't counted what we've done.
So how can you promote this show if you don't even know?
Yeah, maybe we should do this. Is
This
question
is false
number
advertising is what
okay,
it is.
the 1,000 is just
critic.
a made up number. Now there are.
'Cause I've only done about 7 or 8 of these, and already it's uncomfortable. You know,
That's right. That's right. Well, get the sex addiction. Okay. Well, that was the
Forever.
okay. That's a minute and a half of our lives we can't get back, folks. Okay. Okay. Here's an interesting question. Is it okay? Is it okay for your spouse to go out without you? Lots of levels there.
yeah, we need some clarification on what all that means.
Well, we have to make up the clarification.
Okay.
That is
Uh,
silly.
It looks like a female's handwriting. I'm going to say that.
Now, how the heck can you possibly just go ahead and somehow make that a
You tell
gender
me.
issue? Oh
Wait,
my God!
No. Well,
It's early handwriting. I know guys that write like girls, so you can't judge.
yeah,
You might
but-
be right.
but we've got to take some space. I try to think about what side has written this when I do this.
Profiling them. He tries
That's
to
right.
profile the question.
Profiling.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're a profiler. Great. Super.
But you asked us to profile. You said, let's break this down. That's profiling. So I'm saying it looks like a woman wrote this, and maybe he is. And when we're saying going out, it's with the boys. I don't think it's with other women. I don't think this is a date thing. I think it's going out with the pals.
Okay, first of all, I think it could go either way on that, and you're unnecessarily throwing that into the laps of the putting the unnecessary onus on men to defend themselves here. Okay, because it works both ways, and my answer to this very simply is you should trust your spouse enough, and if you have trust and if you have faith and you understand that some people need some time apart. Ask my wife. She's going to stab me soon. I know she is.
She's like,
So,
go.
she would not mind me going out if I had any friends.
Donna, what's the real answer that I'm going to tell you my thing?
Well,
What's the real
I think it would be like super controlling if you did not want your spouse to go anywhere without you.
right?
We do need to be independent individuals as well as partners in a relationship. So there are times to go as a couple and times and places to go individually. I do have to say there's probably a couple of things that even I would not want my spouse doing without me. Like if he decides to go to a strip club, I'm like, yeah, no, not going without me.
Are you going?
I'm going to be blocking.
Either that or you just if you go, just bring a lot of ones.
Wait.
That's all.
Are you into going to the strip bar?
No.
Well, I know, but you said he's going. You're going to go with
If
him.
he goes, yes, I am.
I know. So
Not
you're
because I enjoy it, because I need to block everybody. Stay away from this guy.
but he can go. You're going to go with him.
I guess if he goes, I will be there. Yes,
Well-
I will. Whether with him or spying on him, I will go.
Joe and I don't get to go to a strip bar in any way. There's
No
no,
one said he's went.
no. We don't get to go. You're saying he can go. You're going to go with him.
Yep.
Okay.
But I think he knows. I feel like I'm kind of secure. Like I think I am, but I am a female and I am territorial and I know females and I know guys are sometimes a bit on the ignorant side.
Yeah.
So I have to keep an eye out for suspicious women.
This
And
show
so
is awfully
not
sensitive.
not this ignorant guy. Don't come near this doofus who ain't paying attention. Nuh-uh.
So, did you just say this show is sexist?
Did you say that, Joe?
Well,
Do you feel like we're chauvinists?
yes, I did.
Male chauvinists?
Why?
I mean, here Brad's saying that people write like a girl. He doesn't know, and you're saying all guys are kind of, dumb. I think this is getting
Okay.
kumbaya.
Tell me,
Let's kumbaya.
guys
this thing on up.
recognize flirting. Do
Mhm.
guys always recognize when a girl is flirting with them? Because I don't think so. But I think a girl knows when a girl's making a move. But a guy won't know until like her boobs are right here. But a girl knows
Flirting?
from from across the room. The girl can tell if some girl is eyeballing her guy.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I think Donna's saying men are weak.
No, ignorant. Like they don't know
But
when a girl is flirting.
nothing's going to happen whether she's flirting or not. Because my wife says this to me too often. Because first of all, I think Joe would agree that we don't think anybody could be attracted to us.
Yeah,
So
that's
if
true.
it happens,
Definitely true.
if it happens, we're just like, no, there's no way this young woman is attracted to
I
us.
don't worry about the husband. I worry about the woman trying to make
Right,
a move on
I
my
get your point. I get your point. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Okay,
Women
good.
do not respect each other's boundaries very well.
Yeah.
Women do not respect each other's territory very well.
Yeah.
And by the time my husband recognizes someone's making a move, she's on his head. So I'm like, no, I'm there to go, get back.
Gotcha.
We're back in the strip bar now, right?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah. We obviously somehow we got back there. I don't get
If
it.
you're just hanging out at the church on a Sunday afternoon and a girl's flirting with him, I don't think she's on his head. I don't know, no matter where
No,
that
I don't know what it depends on what kind of church you go to,
Everywhere.
I think.
Girls are insecure creatures and they will do weird things.
Let me take a note.
Take a note. Girls, let's get their
Write this down.
Got it. Okay.
Is that what you tell all the husbands and wives? So, Joe, this leads me to a question, Joe. Last time you were in a strip bar?
Oh, good Lord. Oh, many moons ago. I haven't been in one in a long time. I'd be creeped out by one now at my age.
Think back to an actual kind of date, and then I'll give you mine.
It had to be 30 years ago. Seriously. It had to be. I don't think I've been. I obviously haven't been since my daughters were born, and I have a 24-year-old daughter. So it hasn't been.
Yeah, it was the morning your daughter was born. You were out at the strip bar.
Although I do have do know a friend of mine.
Like this.
I do know a friend of mine who actually went to a strip bar within a past few years, and he has a young daughter, and he said that he went on a bachelor party with a bunch of friends of his, and he saw his babysitter on stage.
Nice.
Yeah. And of course, the only question is, well, did you tip her? So anyway, go ahead. What was the last time you've been?
Awkward.
I went to a strip bar the last time. It was before I was married. So it is at least 27 years ago. And I've never been comfortable. I had 3 quick stories. Tim Wilson, great comedian, some 30 years ago.
I know Tim Wilson.
What?
I know Tim Wilson.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was one of the old
that
timers.
thing right there. I tell you right now,
Right
got
there,
half
right
a
there.
dollar.
He's one of the greatest. Yeah.
One of the greatest. Go look up Tim Wilson. So we were at Zany's and there was an open mic girl, and I was just out of college, and she's talking about being a dancer for a living. And I thought she meant like classical or ballet and stuff like that. We're talking about dancing. I was so dumb. So then Tim goes, "Hey man, let's go over that strip bar." And I'd never been to one at the time. I go, "Okay." And it was an all nude strip bar. Scary, man. Who knows what's in the drinks? So yeah, hold up your martini. So anyway, we walk in and it's all nude, and I'm hiding behind Tim. And she walks out on stage and starts dancing. She's totally nude. And she sees Tim and I, and she goes, "Ah!" And she runs off the stage. And she gets dressed and she comes out and talks to us. And I said, I had no idea. And the second story is that every time I went to a strip bar, there was a girl comic. There was a girl in Houston that was a comedian. And she said, "Yeah, I'm a dancer at the strip bar. You should come see my set." And I went, and she was thrilled to be up there
That's
and
hysterical.
doing all. And I
Great
stayed in
line.
the way back. Yeah, and I stayed in the way back because it makes me so uncomfortable. I don't know what kind of prude I am, but it makes me uncomfortable.
I've been
So-
to a couple. My husband says he's never been to one.
Really?
Your husband's never been to one? That's what he tells you, huh?
Yes, yeah, that's what he says.
Oh, I want to close this for a second. And that the thing about going out without you. Look, if you can never go out with anyone ever, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think there is a level of going out if you're hanging out with one person of the opposite sex, or that you are spending a lot of time and there's kind of an emotional connection that's a little stronger than it should be. That is of concern.
Yeah. I think that's why that needed to be clarified a little bit, because we didn't know who are you going out with. We're just all assuming it's just with your friends, whether it be male or female. But you're right, Brad. If it's like, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go over to Sheila's house and we're going to drink tequila all night long. That's
Right.
a little problematic.
I know.
Yeah, because we all know what Sheila and tequila.
Yeah, how do you know Sheila? Wait a minute.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
You're going to Sheila's too? God, what? I thought I was it.
I'd be like, that's it, not happening.
Okay, next. Let's see. Here we go. This one is written by a
Man.
A grandma. A grandma.
Lefty or righty? Tell me.
I don't have the COVID, by the way.
Okay.
It's allergy season for me, and I ran in the grass today.
Wearing our masks.
Like it matters. When children want to be treated like adults, even though still a kid, what should be your move?
Well,
Donna?
don't you have to respect their desire to be mature?
Well, are they acting mature?
That's the question. That's
So
the question.
I
This
don't
is more.
know, like-
This isn't really a marriage question. This is a parent question.
But sometimes when you're married, you're a parent. It's
True
like,
that.
come on.
Read the thing, Joe. Write down a question about marriage or bringing up children in a marriage. This
Oh,
is-
I get it. Okay. Well,
Oh, I didn't know that was even in there. You never sent me one of those. I've got questions.
and your kids are adults.
Kids are grown and still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
For that one, honestly, I'd say treating kids like adults, or kids who want to be treated like adults. Like, there are kids should be treated like adults, like when it comes to respect and how you talk to each other. And I am not a fan of disrespecting somebody or dominating somebody just because they're smaller or younger.
Younger.
So I do think kids should be treated like adults, but then there are like, what types of activities or things that kids can do, you have to go developmentally. So kids treated like an adult at 5, well, they can do some dishes, but they're not going to go get an apartment. So there's some things that, yes, only children should be doing at this age or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that, to me, I hear it in the office, is kids want to be treated like adults, as if like a parent doesn't want to give them a say or doesn't want to give them choices or doesn't want to hear their opinion about something. Like, you're not an adult, only I get to make this decision. Well, I'm not a huge fan of that. I think you should at least talk about it.
Yeah, and that's and from experience, having 2 adult children, I really wish I would have probably addressed that more. Not that they ever demanded to be treated like adults, but now that they are adults, I have a hard time treating them like adults. Just because, and it's not that I was ever demeaning to them or ever talked down to them, but now it's like I'm almost like, God, I wish we would have talked more about this when you were younger, so that now that you're this age, you're not making these mistakes that I forgot to address when you were younger. So
you can give them responsibilities. You can you can teach them how to think about what's a good choice here. You can start that so early, and a lot of parents don't.
We don't. I didn't.
Yeah. Saying, they grow up and then they're out there and they don't have the ability to make good decisions and use judgment because they never really had to. You
Right.
told them what to do the whole time.
Well, I say that when you have a kid, you always treat them 6 years younger than they are. So if they're 16, they get 10. Here's what I'm saying. Okay, just stop.
Really arbitrary.
No, here's what I'm really saying. I am looking at this question as a parent who's got maybe a 15 or 16-year-old girl, or even 14 or 13, who is saying, I should be able to date whoever I want. I can stay out till 3 a.m. You have to treat me like an adult. Everything you said, Don, is true. They should do that. But what about a parent who's got a kid, a 16-year-old girl is like, I'm sneaking out in the middle of the night. I'm taking the bus into New York City if I feel like it, because I get to make my own decisions.
It's not developmentally appropriate. A 16-year-old doesn't have the judgment to let them make that amount of decisions.
How do you stop them from then doing all these things?
You talk about it with them. You talk about, like, what's a good choice? What do you need to do? Because I say make it win-win. Try to find a deal that's win-win. You don't need to say no. You don't need to say you can't, but you do got to talk about it and see if you can come up with a win-win, where it's comfortable with the parent and it achieves. So maybe she wants some independence. Maybe she wants some, time away from the house. I don't know, but there's probably a win-win in there if they just talk about it a bit.
Right. I think that's also, you have to judge the kid. Each child is different too. I know some, you can have one child in your family that is way more mature than the other one. Mm-hmm. And they each have to be judged on their own merits. And for instance, I have one that moved out of the house at a pretty young age and she's doing fine. And the other one won't clean her room. So, there's two different kind of things there.
That is the answer I was looking for right there. That is the exact answer that I was looking for. Well, okay. One more.
To check.
One more. And then we're going to do a few of the myths, a few marriage myths. And you tell me if they're myths. Here we go. Oh, Lord, here it is. What is the best position for sex to keep a marriage happy?
Whichever one the wife prefers.
I'm with that answer. Whichever one you like the best.
In all honesty, seriously, seriously, there's not a guy that's going to be like, no, I don't like that position. Yeah.
Well, actually, there is one that is not possible for me. There's something that's not, because I don't bend. There's a way that I don't, and it just hurts too much.
Are you trying to imagine what that is, Joe?
Are you trying to imagine?
No, I would lose sleep or have to go to the bathroom.
You would fall apart.
Well,
first of all, we have to start the weed eater. And
that's always a bad start. Yeah, that's always,
it's electric. We had the gas, but it smelled up the bedroom.
It smells up the bedroom. I know.
It's really, if you're going to use the weed eater. So anyway, but no, I just, and of course, you need to talk about it. Talk about you. Again,
you're right. Talk about it, because that's
I go crazy when people don't talk about it. But
that has been our biggest problem in our relationship over the years, is the fact that we don't really discuss it enough. You
just flip her over and push her up against the headboard.
Yeah, I don't want to just take. That'd be a little.
That would be a good thing.
Yeah, right. Well, by the same token, it's like I really still 2 kids and 30 years later, and I really don't know what she likes. So it'd be nice if she'd just let me know. But there are a lot of people in that. If the whole idea behind that is to find out something that makes you both happy, but by the same token, there's no guy in the world that's going to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Every guy in the world is like, whatever you want to do, we'll do it.
I know, whatever, I'll do it. I got it.
I've got one I can't do. I've got one. I won't do it. I can't.
Can you draw it for us or something?
Yes.
Brad?
Well, okay. So here,
like stick figures.
Okay, so then,
yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. You're gonna get.
Then
you
have to go into
like a rheumatoid arthritis. That's a hard one. Yeah.
That is hard.
Yeah.
Well, it makes it not a hard one. By the way, I'm going to profile right now this question, like I do all the questions. I think this question was written by a man whose wife wouldn't do something or other, and he's trying to get something like, what position's best? And then he's got one in mind that he wants.
And then if we give the answer, then he goes, I knew it. They said this.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to spend 5 minutes doing. I want to play my other little ad real quick.
Do a commercial.
My other little commercial. Here we go. They're all for me. Joe, if you want to have an ad, give it to me.
Oh.
All right. So, okay. Are you ready for the first marriage myth? Tell me if this is true. Myth number 1, your spouse should be your best friend. Donna, should they?
It should be one of them. Your spouse should be one of your best friends.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
So you disagree. You say it should be, you should be best friends. Because
So
this says,
the question is this a myth or not? Right? That's what we're getting.
no,
at.
this is saying it is a myth. Your spouse should not necessarily be your best friend. You do not have to have him as your best friend.
You have like 3 double negatives there. So
That's right. It says, while they should be your ultimate support system, you don't have to like doing everything with them.
But I don't like doing everything with my best friend either.
That's true. So, okay, bad question number 1. Number 2, myth number 2, every argument has a resolution.
Oh, heck no.
Yeah, no, not every argument. So that is a myth. Sometimes you just have to walk away.
Sometimes you disagree and you're just going to continue to always. We had one last night. She does not like, I get a little squirrely and I'll post some stuff. And she's like, you should never, ever be posting anything. And I will delete it. But I kind of disagree that I should be able to, you know what I mean? So number 3.
I had a friend yesterday actually delete my post because I used a dirty word in it. And I thought we were good friends.
Okay. That sounds like a good friend.
Yeah, I thought we were friends. So
I know, were you offended?
Saying dirty words on the internet.
I did. I slipped and just was being colloquial, and I was like, I didn't even think that I typed in that thing because that's the way I talk. So
Donna,
anyway, go ahead.
He put that on my thread. He put
that's why I said that.
I don't let
bread
dirty words be
no naughty words.
You were right, and I shouldn't have done that. So, but it wasn't. It was innocuous. Come on.
Shame.
All right, myth number 3. And I don't know about this one. 50% of marriages end in divorce. Is that true?
I think that's kind of the statistic right now.
I think it's more, actually.
I'm going to look it up while you guys are talking.
Yeah. Because I had to look that up for my comedy routine. So I think at one point in our recent history, it was closer to 60.
I read once that second marriages, over 70% of second marriages end in divorce.
Yeah.
This says the statistics are just not true. People are still carrying this finding from a study that was done over a decade ago, which includes first and second and third marriages. Also, it's not generalized to the population, nor was it reflective of the trend, but it doesn't actually say what it is. So
yeah. How can you do that? If you're going to then tell us what it is, don't just say it's not. Oh, that's not true. Well, give me your data and tell me what it is. So
yeah, this
it up right now.
Says 42 to 45% of first marriages and 60% of second marriages.
Is that what it is?
That's what a site said.
And the question is, what use is that information?
To scare you.
To scare you into staying or divorcing?
Make sure you pick well. Put wait. Put more effort into choosing your spouse than you do buying a car.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Because I put no effort into buying a car. I just walk in that. Yeah, I'm out.
Sparkle.
Okay. One more, then we're done for the day. By the way, next week, Joe, we would love to have you, but Dale Jones and Jody White, married couple, comedian Dale Jones, it will be here. So
you will never have me back on because they are hysterical.
Really?
They are wonderful. They're
and they'll both show up. So your wife does not want to show up to this show. So
she's, you know what? This is very funny because I asked her if she wanted to come on today, and she was, for the past 2 Wednesdays, I have asked her on that day, and she's looked at me because she's got a ponytail and a t-shirt, and she's like, I didn't even take a shower today. Why do you do this every Wednesday? Every Wednesday. So you've created some marital strife. Thank you.
But she already knows it's Wednesday.
It's all your fault, Brad.
Yeah,
she
Brad.
Ready.
Now they're fighting.
Yeah.
Okay. So last one, and then we're going to say goodbye. Old problems don't exist once you get married.
What?
Do problems disappear? Do old problems disappear? It says relationships take a lot of work. The problems won't disappear the minute you and your partner put rings on each other's fingers.
The problems don't disappear.
Yeah.
So the myth was problems just disappear when you put that ring on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's
That makes
not easy to debunk that one. Yeah,
right.
right.
Oh,
That's
It's the magical ring.
yeah, sure. Yeah, why don't we just get married with a wand?
Yeah. Problems are exacerbated once you get
Yeah.
They actually are, because now you can't get away from them.
That's right.
Certain problems don't start until
Yeah.
you have that ring on your finger.
Oh, by the way,
I
I did look up the divorce rate, and it's 41% in all marriages. So
So
There you
that was close. It said 50-50, so I
Yeah.
guess that's the myth. It's 40-60.
yeah, something like that.
So nanny, nanny.
So get divorced, everybody. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Donna Wilburn, go to redrockcounseling.com. Joe Marlotti. Oh, I didn't put your little thing up.
Don't worry
I'm
about
sorry.
it. It's no big deal. Nobody needs to see me. I haven't updated anything since 1989.
Yeah, your act is the same. Who
My
knows?
act isn't- I'm still doing
Somebody get a
OJ
hold of
jokes.
Joe and I. Joe
Yeah.
and I will come and do a show virtually.
Nobody lives here.
We'll come live. My God. Please get a hold of us. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye bye.